Welcome, Mr. Moubarak. I'll be introducing you in the absence of Ricardo. Ricardo's been doing this initiative with Nagi. He's been extremely excited about it and wanting to promote it. And I think it's good to get an overview again. What is Outerpond? How can we support? And as you're saying, how can we get the attention and the support of the diaspora? So I'm going to introduce you very quickly. And Nagi, will you be presenting anything?
I mean, if you want, I can just, go very quickly over the Outerpond platform. If I can share my screen, explain what it's all about, tell you what the $1 Million Challenge initiative is all about, and then how to reach the diaspora and how the LPSN can help.
Okay. All right. So Nagi is the initiator of Outerpond, a free B2B platform that connects Lebanese service providers with foreign service seekers. He has a BA and an MBA from GWB, George Washington University, I'm assuming. After climbing the ladder at Leo Burnett Beirut, he was bitten by the entrepreneurship bug. He launched several companies since the mid-90s in the marketing, data mining, and consulting fields, covering the Middle East and North America. And correct me if I'm wrong, Outerpond was launched almost a year ago. Mazbout?
On July 16, 2021 at 9 p.m. exactly. That's when we went online. So over 18 months ago.
Yalla. The floor is yours. Let's try to do, I would say, 15 to 20-minute presentation. Is this good enough for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then we'll go for a round of questions. And
Fantastic.
I understood from you that you want also feedback and any ideas that the group can provide, right?
Absolutely. So basically, Outerpond, as you said, Rima, is a B2B platform. It's a free platform. What we try to do is to promote Lebanese service providers. So any type of industry, it could be ICT, it could be manufacturing, it could be translation, all the way to legal. Okay, I'm just going to show you, first of all, how you get promoted. So I'm just going to log in with this account, which is a service seeker account. So basically, these are companies that are based abroad. And when you register as a service provider, you're going to see this. So if you are based abroad, you can tap into our database of companies. And what they can do, the foreign-based corporations, what they can do is look out for corporations or startup. And they have a multi-level filter whereby they can choose different categories. And these are all the categories basically that we are covering. So every single category is an active category. We do have service providers all across these categories. For instance, if they're interested by, let's say, something that is not really mainstream, jewelry, you click here or they click here and they can see the types of companies that we have that are registered on Outerpond. If I'm interested by this company as a foreign-based company, I click here, I can see all the details of the company. I have the write-up that the local company does. I have their contacts. And we also allow for service providers to upload different supporting documents. So it could be awards in this case. And what it does is it provides credibility to the local company. Why? Because we are basically trying to promote the local companies to compete against worldwide corporations. So at their fingertips, basically what they can do is be able to see the types of local companies, what they have, and you can upload your own brochures, or if you have certifications, so on and so forth. This is an example of how a service seeker, meaning a foreign-based company, would see the local companies. And what they can do also is create opportunities. And this is the most interesting thing, because foreign companies can, for instance, create in a few seconds their needs. It could be in terms of RFPs, it could be in terms of financing, grant, investment, so on and so forth. So in a few minutes, they create what they need, they post it on our platform, and the service provider, meaning the local Lebanese company, can access these opportunities, log in, and see what it's all about. So I'm just going to show you the flip side of the coin, if I can log in with my account. Just a second, I'm just going to see again if it works. Otherwise, you will have the opportunity. Of logging in, creating your own account, and you will see how the opportunities come across. But most importantly, it's not really the opportunities that are important. The most important thing, basically, is the following. as a service provider, you can check every single opportunity that is active on our platform. For instance, we have actually several opportunities from Saudi Arabia, Canada, France, and I believe the UAE. These are the active opportunities. If you're interested by any of these opportunities, basically, what you could do is, for instance, click. If you're part of the agriculture or food processing or manufacturing in Lebanon, we do have an investment company that is based in Montreal that is ready to invest in Lebanese manufacturing. So if I'm interested by this, what I can do is click on the opportunity, see the details of the opportunities, see what they're requesting, and even access the details of the foreign-based company that is requesting or that has posted that opportunity.
It's not just B2B for sale, but could be for an investment. This is one.
Absolutely. I mean, what we're trying to do is attract outsourcing project investments and partnerships. I mean, these are the three pillars that we are working on. And this is something that is, to us, quite important because partnerships are also critical. You do have firms that are based elsewhere that are looking to enter the Middle East. Lebanon could be an entry point.
How many interactions have actually, apart from question answer,
yeah,
how many actually bore fruit? And since July, مثلا, عندك شوية examples?
Yeah, basically, I mean, we had over $2 million in terms of foreign listing, and we had approximately, I believe, the last count was 375 to 400K in terms of actual contracts that have been signed. One thing that I need to mention also is that we were awarded a grant back in July by TIF USAID's project, and they are allowing us to develop also additional modules that are going to be able to help us track every single opportunity, the status of the opportunity, so on and so forth. And so we are really driven by results. And this is a platform also at the same time that enables the diaspora to reach out to Lebanese companies. And this is something that is extremely important because we keep on hearing that the diaspora wants to help and they do have good intentions. But whenever you move into the B2B field, ultimately it's a business decision. And this is something that usually we tend to forget. And this is something also that we need to promote abroad. And that's why we are creating the new initiative that is called the $1 Million Challenge, which aims to attract $1 million over 12 months to Lebanese companies from foreign-based companies. So it is going to be a challenge. It is going to be an uphill battle. But with the help of 9 partners of ours, including the LPSN, I believe it is going to be achievable. And we're looking forward to doing so.
Okay, I have one last question. I'll let you be, and then let the others ask their questions.
Absolutely.
So it's more like direct investments, right? Because most of the difficulties in terms of loans or I'm still where to put the money, right? Because our banking system has failed.
Sure.
So the only way really is direct investment, equity or strategic partnership, as you're putting it.
Or outsourcing, and most of our projects basically are in terms of outsourcing, because it could be a very small project like a logo design or website design, and it could be a huge project like supplying, solar panels for governmental hospitals. And this has been done also on behalf of a fantastic association called Alam. They are a Swiss-based association, and they have raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they are working with a local supplier that they've met on Outerpond. And this is a small example of what we can do. I mean, it doesn't need to be rocket science. Today, either we focus on our capabilities by saying, okay, fine, we have this platform, we have fantastic companies. How can we really effectively reach out to the diaspora? If we don't give them tangible, measurable goals, if we don't give them a proper tool, it is going to be extremely hard to be able to do so.
Okay, go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, hi, Nagi.
Hi, Anthony.
Very nice presentation, very nice initiative.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, do you filter companies registering on your website? Do you do some due diligence? What do you do before letting them on the platform?
Okay, so basically, yes, there is an automated system. First of all, when you register on the platform, you need to verify your email. And we usually insist on having a corporate email, except for startups. We allow them to use a Gmail or a commercial email for 30 days. Once we know that an account has been verified, it doesn't mean that it has been created, because you need to give us, different information about the company. We do cross things out in terms of verifying it manually. For instance, this morning we had a company that mentioned that it was based in Lebanon. In fact, it was based abroad. We cross-checked that their website was different than what they claimed they did, and we sent them an email saying, you don't fit the criteria. We deleted their account, and we asked them to re-register with the proper information. So this is one thing that we do. The second thing that we also do is leave it entirely up to the users also to try to do their own due diligence, because we're not getting paid, we're not getting any commission. If today a company from abroad is going to contact your company, if you're on the platform, basically they need to do their own due diligence and vice versa. So we don't have, if you want, at this stage, the infrastructure to do everything from A to Z. We're trying to cover 95% of what we can cover with a small team that we have. And at the same time, it's up, whenever you talk B2B, you have to do your own due diligence at some point.
Okay,
yes.
great.
Can I ask, sorry, can I ask?
Question.
Yeah.
Do you rate those companies?
It is one of the modules that we're going to start having, thanks to the USAID grant. What we're going to have is badges that are going to be based on the usage of the platform, the contracts that have been awarded, the supporting documents that they provide to increase the credibility of both users on each end. So there are things that are in the making presently, basically. The modules are being developed currently.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. We move to the $1 million.
Okay. So basically, why the $1 million challenge? Today, we tend to operate in silos. For instance, you as LPSN, you have a lot of talent, a lot of CEOs of companies, and you can change things. You can do it at a certain scale. How about multiplying the potential that you have with other organizations with whom we have partnered? I'm talking about Veritech, I'm talking about the RDCL, we have also the Chambre de Commerce et d'Industrie Canada-Liban, LabNet. We have in total 9 organizations, 5 of which are based in Lebanon, 1 in Switzerland, and 3 in North America. What does it mean? It means that if we pool our contacts together, if we are able to identify service providers in Lebanon that are able and capable to provide top-notch service, if we also are able to identify contacts abroad. For instance, you might have a couple of contacts that you know very well that are part of the diaspora, but that are not necessarily working with you because they don't have the needs for your own industry, but they might be interested to work with Anthony or anyone else, but they don't know how to do it. And it doesn't come on top of your mind to channel these contacts to Anthony. The moment we have this pool of contacts and we have the tool, most importantly, which is the platform, you facilitate the whole thing. So what was needed was a platform like Outerpond. I'm not promoting Outerpond per se, but it could be different platforms. I'm only promoting this one because I know how it works. The second thing that we need is pooling our resources together. The third thing that we need is having a tangible goal, because it's always easy to say, okay, we're going to help. Fine, but how are we going to help? Today, if we say we need to reach $1 million in 12 months by doing X, Y, Z, we are going to reach probably $500,000 or $1 million or $2 million. But the most important thing is to have one direction, one goal, and the strategy behind it, and also the will to try to change the message. Because so far it's been, okay, we're looking for opportunities, but we're not able to gather these opportunities. Now we are going to work to make it happen. And we have the tools. Because I split my time between Lebanon and Montreal, there was a great campaign in Montreal on behalf, I believe, of Scotiabank. And their slogan was, you are richer than you think. And we are, in fact, much richer than we're thinking, especially nowadays, because we know that the government is not going to do anything. And the only way to come out of this crisis is through individual rising together, banding together, and changing the momentum. And what better than, the private sector in doing so? I believe this is really the best way to show that we are able, capable, and we have the tools to be able to do this.
Okay, Anna, I'm just going to ask and then let everyone else ask if you're done. Just clarification on the $1 Million Challenge. How are you going about it? Is it a rally? Is it an announcement that you're going to do at some point?
We are creating, first and foremost, we are creating a campaign now. We have 2 talented creatives that are working with us on this. We are going to have an online session with the 9 partners, including the LPSN, to show the ad campaign. We are also going to tap into the potential of every single partner and most probably the individuals. For instance, we would like also to partner with media. It could be MTV, LBC, L'Orient Le Jour, so on and so forth, because we want to make it as a national initiative. The more we have coming on board and the more we talk about it, the more we are able to send the right message and also give an opportunity to the diaspora to pitch in. And to pitch in, we're not here asking for money. We're not here asking for any type of grant or help. We're telling them, if you have any type of outsourcing project, if you have something that is tangible, if you're looking for investment, we have the platform that allows you to identify companies that might be able to provide you with your outsourcing needs or investment needs or even partnership needs. So the formula is very simple. It's only a matter of putting things on track and working together towards that goal. And we do have all those assets available.
Any questions? Anyone else? You're done, Nagi?
I'm done as long as there are no questions, but if there are challenging questions, I would love hearing them.
I have a question.
By raise of hand, how many people have actually put their companies on Outerpond?
A few hundreds.
No, I'm talking about the networkers. If they've already
the networkers.
I know I did, but I don't think we received anything. I'm going to double check if we received anything in Egypt. Go ahead, Cynthia.
I'll do that today.
Yeah, I'm answering the question if my company is on Outerpond.
Yeah.
My company is on
I would like to clarify something. By being on Outerpond, it doesn't mean that you're going to have an opportunity overnight. We are working hard, to convince the diaspora and foreign-based companies to list their needs. So this is something that is in the making. It doesn't mean that you're on Outerpond immediately you're going to have tons of contracts. Hopefully you will in the future. This is the aim of the platform, but you need to understand that you're getting visibility even if you're not being contacted. We are extremely active also in international forum. We have different events coming up, including with the Global Chamber, which gives us also a footprint in and direct access to different entrepreneurial ecosystems that are different from the Lebanese diaspora. So we're really doing a lot in terms of outreach, and this is only the beginning. So I encourage you to sign up on Outerpond and be patient with us. And if you have any type of concern or any type of advice for us to grow and to develop better, we would love hearing your perspective.
Thank you. Najah?
Yeah, thank you very much, Nagi. I want to ask, you said that you don't take commissions and maybe there is no subscription to the site. Where do you fund your service?
This is a fantastic thing. Well, basically, it was a self-funded initiative following the port explosion. I wanted to do something, especially for the private sector. We have the grant now that is helping us develop, or improve our modules in terms of technology, and this is something that is great. We are slowly going to move into a freemium model, which is kind of like LinkedIn, where you always have your free account, but you could have access to premium services, and this is where a small fee is going to be paid. We will have also Outerpond Advisory, which will be the offshoot in terms of consultancy if we need to take a business by the hand and help them develop either internationally or for international businesses to develop throughout the region. So this is really the monetization model that is going to kick in a few months.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
صائب كانت ايدك مرفوعة قبل.
فكر روي كان عنده سؤال وبعدين
لا هو سائب actually بس سائب is muted.
Hi.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm on. Actually, Nagi جاوب السؤال بس I will just clarify. Thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you.
Excellent initiative. Very good initiative. Nagi, السؤال إنه you were saying it's targeting the diaspora, but you're targeting as well, you mentioned afterwards, beyond the diaspora, i.e. international companies and contacts.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Which is probably key. Which is not easy, but that's key.
It's not easy, but كمان يعني today the diaspora is the low-hanging fruit. ليش؟ Because even though we're talking business to business, and ultimately every single project is going to be led by business objectives. يعني ما فيك تروح عن حدا يكون part of the diaspora وعنده شركته وتجي تقول له please تعال على Outerpond وحط هالبروجكت واشتغل مع شركة لبنانية بحيث نحن عايزين مصاري يما بلبنان الحالة صعبة. It doesn't work that way. Ultimately, these are people who are responsible vis-a-vis their shareholders and the bottom line. هلا إذا عندهم a project that is posted on Outerpond and they find the right service provider and maybe the service provider has got maybe a very small increase in price compared to someone that might be based in Mexico or the Philippines or India, then certainly this little sentimental fiber and value might help in sealing the deal. بس كمان we need to be realistic. Today نحن ما عم نطلب مساعدة عم نرجع نقول this is a showcase of fantastic Lebanese companies. You have outsourcing needs فكروا فيهم وإذا عندكم حيلا بروجي post it on Outerpond. It's as simple as this. That's the moment we do the link up between a service provider على a platform and a service seeker يعني based abroad, it becomes a pure business to business dealing. And this is something that is very important.
Waiting to see if there's anyone else with another question. I have a couple. So when you're saying $1 million challenge, if it's an investment that's $1 million, we've hit the challenge. Is that how it is, or is it the يعني
okay, the point
supplying of services? عرفت لأنه في فرق كتير كبير between supply of services and investment.
Absolutely. Basically, at this stage, I mean, it could be an investment, it could be outsourcing projects, basically, or it could be even the value of partnerships. ليه ما نحددها? Because it is not easy, I mean, to try to attract. It's still $1 million. I mean, it is something that is still important in terms of numbers. That said, هلا إذا وصلنا لها, it doesn't mean that we're going to stop at $1 million. We're going to have, the objective is to reach much more than this. And if the challenge is successful this year, we're going to carry it on for the next year. Because it becomes just like a snowballing effect. يعني أهم شيء إنه نقدر نقول لهم للدياسبورا إنه we have this platform, we have fantastic companies, just give it a try. And if they give it a try, and nowadays we're having a very interesting testimonial on our website, you can see a few of them. And these are people, and some of them are service seekers, some of them are service providers who have used the platform in different capacities, and it was successful. So it means that there is really a good way ahead. And think about it the other way around. If we don't have this platform, or if we don't create a challenge like the $1 million challenge, what else can we do? And we keep on talking about we want. هون نحن عم نرجع نقول خلينا نعملها. We have the capabilities, we have the assets, and we have the platform. All we have to do is just fine-tune things out with our partners and move into implementation.
Okay, Anthony?
Yes, Nagi, service seekers can be Lebanese companies also, or only foreign companies?
Ideally, they are foreign companies, but they could be Lebanese companies. But why do we focus on foreign-based companies? Because we feel that Lebanese companies already have the insight for the local markets. They might not need the platform per se, unless you have a specific need. So we're not really a directory. We are a platform or an ecosystem that is creating B2B opportunities. Now, it doesn't mean, because if you, as you've seen in the presentation, I mean, if you create an account as a service seeker, what you're going to see is the profile of the Lebanese service providers. And you can create your opportunities and you can create your own needs. So there is no problem. But you will not have access to the opportunities of service seekers that are featured on the platform. So either you're a service seeker or you're a service provider. If you are a service provider, you have access to the opportunities, and then you can see who sits behind the opportunity in terms of service seeker. But the other way around is not applicable. I'm not sure if it's kind of clear.
Yeah, it's clear. But, as a company here in Lebanon today, for example, for small jobs, like you said, a logo design or whatever translation, we go always to the same guys to have the job done. And we don't know about the small startups or the small businesses or
Sure.
the...
If you want to register your company as a service seeker, we don't have any restrictions. If
Okay.
you don't need, if your primary objective is to hire Lebanese service providers, then you register as a service seeker. There's no problem whatsoever. But if your aim is to try to attract outsourcing projects to your own company, then you register as a service provider. That's the difference.
Oh, I'm talking about service seekers because
Yeah, there's no basically there are no restrictions.
Lebanese companies.
Yes, you can be a Lebanese company and you can be a service seeker and you can create your own opportunities. There's no problem whatsoever.
Very good. Thank you.
Hanan?
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you very much for the presentation and for the initiative. This is really very helpful. I just have a question regarding healthcare.
Yes.
Do you have, is it really a field that is being addressed? Through the companies that are registered as expats or other?
Okay, we are covering at around 50 categories. The difficulty is that at this stage we are trying to have a broad-based targeting, meaning there are, again, low-hanging fruits in terms of industries. For instance, if you need, logo designs or web development and things like this, these are easier to find and to match rather than something that is extremely specific in terms of pharmaceuticals, so on and so forth. However, we had an opportunity, I believe, 6 months ago. It was a Canadian pharma company looking for distributors in Lebanon and the region. And they posted also an opportunity on Outerpond. I'm not sure if they were able to find a company in Lebanon, but we hooked them up indirectly off the platform with a company in, I believe it was in the UAE. So there are opportunities. We are open and we're not focused on a single category. Why are we doing this? Because our whole purpose is to bring in opportunities across the board. We're not specialized in ICT. We're not specialized in design. We want to have as many Lebanese service providers across categories to be able to be showcased and to bring in projects from abroad.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll give it one more chance for anyone to ask a question. I would just like to comment on the advisory services that you're thinking of providing. And I think a lot of times businesses that would like to be approached by an investor might not have the readiness, right? So this hand holding that you're thinking of setting up, I think might open up even more opportunities. And a lot of investors are now interested in ESG and compliance and all of those things before they even invest. So that could be an interesting intermediary, and then you'd run it for a fee, right?
Yeah, ultimately we cannot keep, investing in the platform and yes, so far we have been doing this, but ultimately we need to monetize the platform. That's the whole purpose. Yeah.
Tayyip. Anything else, everyone? Nagi, you've been quite clear, it seems.